What are CDKs? CDKs are cyclin-dependent kinases that control the activity of checkpoints. So this is how CDKs work. First, a growth factor binds with a growth factor receptor on the cell. This causes the synthesis of cyclin. The cyclin binds with the CDK proteins. This stimulates the cell to go past the checkpoint. This is cell cycle control. In cell cycle control, there's 3 checkpoints that controls whether the cell can move on to the next phase, or whether it has to stay and fix itself or eliminate itself. The first point is from the G1 to the S phase. This point is a major point, as it is called, the R point. This point checks if the DNA of the cell is still intact. The second point is from the G2 to meiotic cell division. This checks to see if the DNA of the cell has completed replication. The final point is from metaphase to anaphase. This checkpoint checks to see if the cell has completed aligning its chromosomes at the equator for it to divide. Thank you. Time for mitosis. Yeah.
Hello. Hey. I just finished the G1 phase. Now I'm going to S phase.
Well, I see you like to replicate your DNA.
Yeah.
Well, your DNA still seems to be intact, so go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you stop. But I finished my DNA replication and growth.
Oh, okay, then you can go.
Thank you very much. Good sir. Welcome.
This is the cell after it has passed through G1 phase, S phase, and G2 phase. In early prophase, the nuclear envelope begins to disappear, and the DNA within the nucleus condenses into chromosomes. The centrosomes, which are the star-shaped figures, also start to move to opposite sides of the cell, and the spindle fibers begin to form. In late prophase, the DNA has been fully condensed into chromosome, and these chromosomes have been attached to the spindle fibers. The nuclear membrane has also disappeared. In metaphase, the spindle fibers position the chromosomes along the equator of the cell. Go.
Hey, stop. My chromosomes are aligned and I'd like to proceed to the anaphase.
Well, that sounds good. You can go now.
As anaphase takes place, the spindle fibers attached to the chromosomes begin to shorten. This causes the sister chromatids to be pulled apart, and each chromatid goes to opposite sides of the cell. In telophase, the chromatids have already finished reaching the poles. Telophase is exactly like prophase, happening in reverse. The DNA decondenses to return to its original chromatin state. The spindle fibers disappear, and the nuclear membrane reforms. Cytokinesis also begins. The final stage of mitotic cell division is cytokinesis. In cytokinesis, a ring of protein fibers pinch the cell into 2 daughter cells. These daughter cells are the final products of mitotic cell division, and mitosis has been completed. These cells would go back into interphase and eventually go through mitosis as well.
Errors in control mechanisms and consequences. The main issues are damaged DNA replication, which leads to mutations. Uncontrolled DNA replication leads to excessive cells, so that can be cancer and tumors. And then no DNA replication can lead to no growth, no repairing of damaged cells, and then we won't be able to reproduce. These are some major errors.
Okay, there are 3 things that can go wrong in mitosis. There's uncontrolled DNA. There's uncontrolled DNA replication, which can mean the mutated receptor is always on. This risk causes too many cells, which can lead to cancer and tumors, which will slow down the cell. Then there's DNA replication to a damaged cell. The mutated p53 gene cannot block RB phosphorylation, leading to mutations. Mutations that are activated and deactivated can lead to cancer. Then there's no DNA replication, which means that the cell cannot grow, reproduce, or repair, which are the goals of mitosis. So once again, there are three main things that can go wrong if mitosis with DNA replication does not occur correctly. Uncontrolled DNA replication of a damaged cell, and no DNA replication at all. Alright, the role of mitosis in multicellular organisms is to grow, repair, and reproduce. The role of mitosis in unicellular organisms is to grow and reproduce its cells.